Hey guys, this is part 2 of my Capricorn and Deneb Algedi videos here, where I'm going to show you more sacrifices to this brightest star in the constellation Capricorn, Delta Capricorni or Deneb Algedi. And go back and watch part 1. You'll need to do that to have a better understanding, but I'm going to show more sacrifices, symbolic sacrifices here for this Capricorn constellation. And if you remember from part 1, Capricorn is associated with the Sumerian god Enki. Sumerian's primordial god of wisdom and waters, Enki, with the head and upper body of a mountain goat and the lower body and tail of a fish. And Enki also associated with Mercury. Planet Mercury was in Sumerian times identified with Enki, and Enki is depicted with 1 foot on water and 1 foot on land, indicating he's a transitional god, just like Mercury is a transitional planet. In alchemy, it was believed to be able to shift between the solid and liquid states. And Mercury was also the god of boundaries and the god of transitions. So we're going to be looking at this date again, the very end of the Tiger year, or the very end of the Chinese ox year, and the beginning of the Tiger year, January 31st, 2022, this ox-tiger cusp. A cusp is a transition between 2 different states. And that goes along with all our Mercury and Capricorn. Capricorn transitions from a goat to a fish. Mercury, of course, and Enki, the water and land transition. So that's why we're looking at this January 31st, 2022 cusp here. And this date, or this alignment that I have for the beginning of the Wormwood event, or the beginning of Revelation and World War III on December 22nd, 2021, we have Saturn and Mercury and Capricorn. And this view is the heliocentric view, or the view from the sun. And it's important because there's a lot of sun symbolism to follow here as well. So that's why we're looking at the view from the sun. And if we go back to our Bohemian stars that were used for magical applications in medieval astrology of Europe and the Arab world, when a planet was within 6 degrees of an associated star, this influence was thought to be particularly strong. And the brightest star in Capricorn is Deneb Algedi, or Delta Capricorni, associated with the planets Saturn and Mercury. And Saturn rules Capricorn. And we have Saturn and Mercury in Capricorn on December 22nd, 2021. Our god of time and god of transitions, the transporter god. And then, of course, Algedi, the tail of the goat, the sacrifice star. So here's some more sun rituals here with the Tiger year. The magic square of the sun is a 6x6 magic square. And in a magic square, each row, or each column, or each corner diagonal sums to the same number. And in the magic square of the sun, it sums to 111. So the total sum of the magic square for the sun is 666. And we got this story on April 6th, 2020, that a tiger at the Bronx Zoo was sickened with the coronavirus. Of course, the corona is the outside of the sun visible during an eclipse, during a total solar eclipse. I'll show you how this was a Chinese tiger year and sun ritual. So the tiger got sick on April 6, 2020. If we had 666 days, that gets us to February 1st, 2022. It's the first day of the tiger year. Again, I've said this before, but the coronavirus is all a ritual and a warning about the sun. And I've shown this before, but the sun is related to wormwood. And of course, that's what my channel is all about, the wormwood star from Revelation 8:11. Revelation 8:11, the 141st verse of Revelation. 8:11 is the 141st prime number. But the volume of the sun is given as 1.41 times 10 to the 18 cubic kilometers. And if we reverse that number, 811141, it's our exact location and verse of Revelation 8:11. The reverse or palindrome of 8:11, 141. But the number, the sun is represented by the number 6, and the planet Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. And I've shown a lot of rituals to the black sun being Saturn. There's a Saturn-Sun connection here, a very important connection. In the mythical Golden Age, Saturn was the celestial pole star, which gave off a purple light known as the black sun. And we're going to be talking about this number as well here at the end of the video, 231. It's the 6th centered octahedral. And 231 is also the 21st triangular number. It's the 21st triangular number. 21, very important. 231 is also the 11th hexagonal number. And it's also the 7th octahedral number. And of course, Saturn is the god of time, and our time is based on the solar day. And there are 6 degrees in 1 minute. If we look at a clock, every minute represents 6 degrees. If we look at the minute hand going around the 360-degree circle. So the 6 is very important to the sun. And here I have this fallout shelter symbol. And if we look here, it's actually in the shape of a hexagon. You have the 3 yellow triangles here. The 3 triads. The 3 triads group the Sephiroth into 3 sets of 3. One Sephiroth on the middle pillar being related to both the Sephiroth on the pillar of mercy and the Sephiroth on the pillar of severity. But this is all about Saturn and the sun. Saturn sits on the pillar of severity. The sun is in the middle. Here's another corona or eclipse ritual I want to show you guys with the January 31st, 2022 date. The Great American Eclipse on August 21st, 2017. And if we measure to the black moon on January 31st, 2022, and the reason that it's a black moon is it's the second new moon in the same month, and that's 1,624 days. And if we reverse that number, it's 4261, which is the 585th prime number. And our 585 goes back to the study of earthquakes and the study of seismology. That began in 585 BC by the Thals of Miletus. So 585, a very important earthquake number. And if we look at our ox, is the Chinese constellation associated with earthquakes. Earthquakes have their origin in the annoyed shrugging of the ox, which bears the earth on its back. And then we have the tiger. We have this ox-tiger cusp on January 31st. The Hairy Head Mansion is one of the 28 mansions of the Chinese constellations. It is one of the western mansions of the White Tiger. This mansion corresponds to the Pleiades. And I'll show you where that alignment is here in a minute when we get to that slide. But the ox and the tiger. Ox overlays onto Capricorn, and the tiger is part of the Pleiades. We're going to skip over this. Come back to that in a separate video. Another Capricorn ritual. I want to show you this alignment as part of the Algedi sacrifice. I had put this slide up on the Gematria Truth Facebook group that I'm part of. I put this up on April 25th. And I wrote here, April 29th through May 5th, an interesting week to watch for war rituals. May 3rd is 19 months and 19 days before 12/22/2021. I talk a lot about Revelation 19:19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. It's a lot of Revelation 19:19 rituals that I've shown you guys. But this is the slide here that I put up on April 25th. And this is the Capricorn constellation. And this view is from Earth. And you can see Mars. We have Mars directly over the Algedi star, a star of sacrifice. But 429 through 55 was the 973rd week after 9/11. And the same week is also the 481st week after the beginning of the Libyan Civil War. That was our 12th war that lasted 8 months, 1 week, and 1 day for our 8/11. And the 481 is significant because the height of the Great Pyramid with the capstone is 481 feet. 481 feet, the height of the Great Pyramid. And May 3rd, not only does May 3rd fall within the 973rd week after 9/11, it's also 973 days after North Korea's last nuclear test. May 3rd is 1,211 days after Kim Jong-un's 33rd birthday. And I was using the birth date given to him by the United States. He has a couple different years for his birthday, but I'm using the United States birthday. And the reason it's 1211 days is because there is exactly 1211 days. That's half the time between the X eclipses. From August 21st, 2017 to April 8th, 2024. It's 2,422 days, so half of that's 1211. And exactly halfway between these eclipses, there's another solar eclipse visible in Argentina on December 14th, 2020. But the 1211 is 1211 days is the half X time, and it's also the last date that the United States declared war on Germany. That was on 12/11/1941. So this 1211 is a very important number. Also, May 3rd is 3 years, 3 months, and 13 days after Trump's inauguration. And 3313 is the 24th star number. 3313, that's our great earthquake from Revelation 6:12, and Apollyon from Revelation 9:11. That positions our Wormwood verse in Revelation, 33 verses and 13 verses, the 24th star number. And on May 5th, which is the last day of the 973rd week after 9/11, Mars will hit, or did hit, 325 degrees, which is the sum of its magic square. And its magic square is a 5x5 magic square. So this number 973, very important to North Korea and Kim Jong-un. Now, it was interesting during this week that Kim Jong-un, there was a lot of speculation that he died from heart surgery. And this is another wormwood ritual. And we'll get more to this in part 3. But the star Regulus, which is the heart of the lion, Regulus is the heart of the lion, but Regulus in this table of Bohemian stars is associated with mugwort, and mugwort is in the wormwood family, the Artemisia family. And like I said, we'll get more to that in part 3, but that's why we were told that Kim Jong-un possibly had heart surgery, and that's that he possibly died. And we got this news on May 5th when he finally reemerged, and the Russian President Putin awards Kim Jong-un World War II commemorative medal days after dictator reemerges from public absence. So we got a World War II medal on May 5th, the date that Mars was at 325, Mars, our god of war. And then on May 3rd, which was 973 days after North Korea's last nuclear test, we had the Trump interview at the Lincoln Memorial. And that's significant because the Great American Eclipse made landfall in Lincoln City in the 33rd state, Oregon. So 2 significant rituals for this week here. Now on 4/29, which was the first day of the 973rd week, this is our Capricorn sacrifice. Irrfan Khan, the actor from The Life of Pi. He's a very famous Hollywood actor, an Indian Bollywood actor as well. But Irrfan Khan, he was actually a Capricorn. He was born on January 7th, so that makes him a Capricorn, and he died on April 29th, 2020 at age 53. And if you look at the day he died, he turned 53 on January 7th, 2020. And on 5/3, which would have been 973 days, this 973 that we're looking at was 3 months and 26 days after his 53rd birthday. Turned 53 on January 7th. On the date of 5/3, that would have been 3 months, 26 days after his birthday. Remember, he's a Capricorn. In the Jewish cipher of Gematria, Capricorn sums to 326. And if we look at the Indian astrology, or the Vedic astrology, Capricorn does not have a goat head. Capricorn is depicted with a bull head. And in the Chinese constellations, Capricorn would be where the ox would be in relation to Capricorn. So if we look at this number 973, of course, this Irrfan Khan, one of his most famous, or one of his most recent and famous roles was The Life of Pi. And The Life of Pi was released on November 21st, 2012. And if we add 9 years and 73 days, that gets us to 2/2/2022. That's Groundhog Day. One day after the beginning of the Tiger year. Of course, The Life of Pi was all about the tiger. And Groundhog Day itself is also encoded to the Chinese zodiac here. It was released on 2/12/1993. And if we add 28 years, that gets us to 2/12/2021. That's the beginning of the ox year. And 28 is a Mercury number. The magic square of Mercury sums to 2080, which is a 28. The maximum elongation of Mercury is 28 degrees. As an 8x8 magic square, which is 2 8s, has the 88-day orbital period. It's also interesting that the Sun spends 28 days traversing through Capricorn. So this 28 is very important to Mercury and Capricorn. But this 973 is a very important number. This date was very important. This 973rd week and 973 days. It's very important to Revelation. 973 minutes into the day is the time of 1613. And the time of 1613, that leaves 467 minutes into the day. And if you remember, our tiger is associated with the Pleiades. And if we take the gematria of the 7 sisters of the Pleiades, it sums to 467. Just like the time left in a day, when we see Revelation, or the time of 1613, there's 467 minutes left. And Maya one of the Pleiades sisters, Maya. That's the mother of Mercury. Another Mercury connection. Mercury, Capricorn, and the ox. All this is related. But this 467 minutes, that's also 7 hours and 47 minutes. And if we look at the date here, 9/11/2001, 12/22/2021, it's 7,407 days. Without the zero, we have 747. And if we go to our 1/31 date, 2022, it's 7,447. 7,4 and 4,7, a palindrome. Interesting. But we're going to take a look now at Revelation 16:13 and how this comes into play with the ritual. Revelation 16:13, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So we're going to take North Korea's last nuclear test. That was on September 3rd, 2017, and we're going to add 1,613 days. North Korea's last nuclear test. Add 1,613 days. That gets us to Groundhog Day in 2022, February 2nd. Second day of the Tiger year. And 2/2/2022, 5th week and 3rd day of 2022. Another 53 here. And this was the day North Korea's last nuclear test, supposedly, was the first test of a hydrogen bomb. And that's a sun ritual. We are told that the sun fuses hydrogen into helium. 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium every second, converting 4 million tons of matter into energy every second as a result. So the sun is converting hydrogen into helium. And in part 3, I'll show you why that's so important. These two elements are associated with balloons and blimps or dirigibles. Way back in the day were filled with hydrogen. We had the Hindenburg disaster, but we'll get to that in part 3. But just important association with hydrogen and the sun. So that's why North Korea tested their first hydrogen bomb. Has to do with the sun. So we're going to look at this 231 number again. These are called the 231 gates. This is the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet with the 231 gates of initiation. And if we go from the time of 1222 to the time of 1613, it's 231 minutes. And I'm going to leave some links in the description. You guys can go through some of this on your own if you want. But here's the 231 gates. The great master key to the theoretical and practical Kabbalah. The 22 houses and the 31 gates. I'll leave a link there. You can go through that and kind of get an idea what that's all about. I just want to show this number 231 again. Remember, 231 is the 21st triangular number. 21st triangular. The X eclipse makes the X over Carbondale, Illinois. Illinois is the 21st state. And of course, our carbon element is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, our 666 again. 21st state. Here's our North Korea nuclear test. If we go from the first test here, which was October 9th, 2006, the first to fifth test was 9 years, 11 months. And if we go from the first test to the last test, it was a total of 569 weeks. We have a total of 569 weeks from the first North Korea test to the last North Korea hydrogen bomb test. 569, I've showed this number before. But 569 minutes into the day is the number 929. And that references the 929th and final chapter of the Old Testament, Malachi 4, which is about the sun. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, ye and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. We have our bovine reference here for our ox or bull, and our sun reference. Did many videos about the 929th chapter here, Malachi 4:2. The largest coronal mass ejection that also happened on the date of 4/2. A very important sun reference and sun ritual, 4/2, Malachi 4:2. But if we take a look at this Revelation 16:13, and we look at the gematria of this verse, it sums to 1453. That's the 231st prime number. Revelation 16:13 about the 3 frogs. And if we look at the time of 9:29 and we add 404 minutes, it gets us to the time of 16:13. minutes, because there are 404 total verses in the book of Revelation. But here's where the ritual here comes in. Now this is for South Korea. There were 5 boys that went missing on 3/26/1991. Remember, 3/26 is the Jewish gematria of Capricorn. But 5 boys went missing on 3/26/1991. And 3 of the 5 boys here, these were called the Frog Boys. Three of the children showed blunt force trauma, possibly from metal tools. Police said the children could have been killed by someone who may have flown into a rage. So 3 of the 5 for our 3 frogs, or 3 unclean spirits, had head trauma. But if we add 1613 weeks to this date, we get 2/22/2022. It's kind of an interesting date here. It's the 53rd day of the year, another 53. And if we look at the Hebrew calendar, it's 12/21. It's kind of interesting. So 2/23 would be 12/22 on the Hebrew calendar. But if we look at this in relation to 9/11, we get our 747 again. It's a total span of 7,470 days after 9/11, 2/22/2022, which is related to our 12/22 and our 1/31 dates with the 747. Very interesting, our 231 gates. Frog ritual to Revelation 16:13, the time of 16:13, very important. 231 minutes from 12/22 to 16:13. There's 32 paths of wisdom, and right now we're in the 32nd Venus pentagram. It's 53, very important. The 16th prime number. The ox, associated with Capricorn and earthquakes, and the tiger associated with the Pleiades. And the Pleiades, we've seen a lot of important rituals of the Pleiades. We just saw the Pleiades ritual at the Super Bowl. Very important week here. Irrfan Khan was our Capricorn sacrifice. He died at the beginning of the 973rd week, at the age of 53. On 5/3 was 3 months, 26 days after his 53rd birthday. Okay, guys, we're going to look at this alignment, the timing of it. In part 3, it's the timing that's very important, and we're going to be looking at some balloon symbolism with the sun, because the sun converts hydrogen into helium, both associated with balloons. And this is what we'll be looking at in part 3. The retired or obsolete constellation Globus Aerostaticus, the hot air balloon. You can see its proximity here with Capricorn. One of the most significant and important rituals has to do with this constellation and Capricorn. Okay, guys, we'll see you in part 3 where we'll finish up the timing of this alignment. Okay, thanks for watching.